Hello Knights Nation, and welcome back to another episode of Gabbin with Gavin. I'm your host, Gavin Broniker. This week I am sitting down with Mr. Kyle Rieber. He is a faculty member here on campus. He works with the Taekwondo class as well as the boxing class. So we're going to sit down with him, get a little bit more insight on these two classes, a little bit more background from him. It's nice to have you on.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us. So just to get into some of your background, I assume you're wearing the WWE shirt, you do all that stuff over there. I assume that you had a background with some of this fighting in your younger days?
Yeah, I started out mostly in Taekwondo back in '85. Kind of got into watching the Karate Kid movie, and it's like, man, that seems like it'd be cool. So I went to my local karate school that was next to me at the time and signed up for a black belt course because I wanted to make sure I didn't quit it. Ended up loving it.
Yeah.
Been doing it ever since and still continue to do it.
Was that something, did your family have any sort of background in it? It was just kind of the Karate Kid movies?
Just watched the movie and I just thought, that seems like it'd be neat to do. And I was looking for something other than doing the softball and stuff I was doing and really liked it. And, here I am now, 38 years later, I'm 7th degree black belt. So I've two shot from being all the way done, and
really, okay.
And so it was just something I really liked, and it was really good. It's a kind of a way of life.
Yeah. So are you still pursuing those two next titles then?
I don't know. I mean, kind of like once you get up to 7th, you're a grandmaster. Then really your title doesn't change. It's like just 2 more degrees. But I don't know. Never say never.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, what does that process entail of kind of going up ranks?
And so it takes a lot of time involved.
For sure.
So typically it takes about 3 years to get your black belt. I got mine in 2. I went every night you could go though.
Yeah.
Didn't miss a test. And then from there, you have to wait so many years before you can test for your 2nd, so many years for your 3rd.
Okay.
And I took some time off in some of my tests where I could have tested in 4 years. I waited 5 years. When I think between my 5th and my 6th Dan, I waited almost 6 years when I could have done it in 5. So, but you have to wait so much time, and then you have to have a lot of knowledge and time in order to do it. So.
At what level do they allow you to start teaching?
So you can really start teaching probably about, as your own instructor, probably around 3rd Dan.
Okay.
I mean, you'll get a lot of 1st and 2nd Dans will be assistant instructors, but most people are at least a 3rd Dan or higher when they start doing their own.
And is that something that as you continue to rise through the ranks, you kind of recognize that as something you might want to pursue as teaching?
Well, I started teaching a long time ago.
Yeah.
I started teaching, I was an assistant instructor from the time I was probably 3rd degree.
Okay.
And then back in 2003, I started my own school. Actually, didn't start my own school. I kind of took over for my grandmaster who had passed away. He always wanted to have a school in Louisville. So I continued that in at my church. Yeah. And we did that until 2020 when the COVID started, kind of affecting it. So
what age groups did you teach whenever you had that school? Just kind of
all ages.
I
mean, my youngest I've had as young as 5 and as old as 63.
Wow.
So all kinds of different ages.
Yeah. So now going into college, is it a different kind of way that you go about teaching it since you're mostly teaching, college kids?
Yes, it is different from going from teaching younger to older, that span. What's neat about college students doing it is because they're very aware of their time. They know they only have so much time. They got to study. Some have to work.
For sure.
There's a lot on the table. So when they come to me for an hour, that means they want to be there because they value their time.
Absolutely.
And so it's really nice because they want to be there. They want to do it. They learn quickly and they accelerate quicker. So, which is nice because really, in order to do what we want to do, you need to go 2 to 3 times a week. And here they're doing it once a week. And they're picking up at a better pace because when you get somebody that wants to do it, their mind's open, they'll start grasping things a lot quicker than
they're
ones
more
that
engaged
just in the middle.
Absolutely.
So it's been really great. It's been really a pleasure to teach this group.
For sure. What are your class sizes typically been here at Billerman?
Well, it varies by semester.
Okay.
So usually when we start, we'll get 20 to 25, and by the time you get the ones that it's not for everybody, you kind of yield down to maybe 15 or 10.
For sure.
And then by the next semester, you may keep those numbers, you may drop lower. I've been staying around 10, but I drop because, classes change on the next semester and they can't make it on that Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard when you're limited to one day a week at a certain time frame.
Yep, yeah. People are certainly going to have sometimes that things pop up and they're not able to make it.
Correct.
So on top of that, you also teach the boxing class.
Yes.
Do you have a lot of the same people do both classes? I know they're back to back, so that's got to be.
I do have a couple.
Yeah.
Gavin and Tanya are two that come to both classes. So, which is rough because the boxing class,
sure.
we really go. I only get them 45 minutes for the boxing, and again, I want to make sure I'm using their time, as the best I can since they're giving up their time. So we kind of go the whole 45 minutes. I mean, we'll take little breaks, or they can step off. They need to take a break. So to go from that and then go right into another class, it's kind of tough. But the boxing is great. I just happened to. I never really was a professional fighter. For his boxing, I ran my Taekwondo school for all those years and trained in Taekwondo since '85. And guys would always say, "Hey, why don't you do that tough man contest?" And it was no boxing thing. And I said, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that. You got to learn how to box." And finally, one day, they conned me into doing it. And I went to a friend of mine who trained me how to be a boxer. He was a professional boxer, and so for 6 months, I trained real hard and went into this tough man and beat up a bunch of 20-year-olds. I was 36 at the time.
Really?
This was back in 2000. So Emily at the surf says, "Hey, we lost our boxing instructor, and do you know anything about boxing?" I said, "Well, I can teach them the way I taught.
Yeah.
I'll teach them how to fight. It's not going to be like a boxing aerobic thing. We're going to get out there. We're going to throw punches. I'm going to show you how to do things the way I was taught." And I tell you what, I bring them in there and work them
I bet.
to death, and they never complain. They come in,
That's
they work
awesome.
hard, and what's really neat to see is how they've developed. I've had people come in that was 225 pounds are now 200. They're losing weight. Their stamina's good, and they're excited to come in. So it's been great.
That is
I've been
awesome.
really lucky to be able to teach these groups
Yeah.
of students here.
So in a lot of your classes, is it kind of a good mix of people that are fascinated by it versus people that are doing it for maybe have some self-defense lessons, and people that are doing it for fitness reasons?
I think for Taekwondo, most of them come in maybe for self-defense, but then they start getting into it and just kind of learning it. So most of them are there because they really want to learn the art. Boxing, I think, kind of started out as aerobic, wanted to kind of get into fitness, but then they started getting into it. So I think the group that I have now is really wants to learn it because, like I said, they haven't missed. The boxing class is one class I haven't lost anybody but maybe one from different changes of classes. They've all managed to make sure they can make that class during their semester change.
Yeah. So how does somebody go about joining these? Is that just something you show up to the surf and you just
show
say?
up because
Really?
with Taekwondo, just like with boxing, they all have basic movements. So regardless if you're a white belt or a 7th degree like I am, you're still doing basic stances, kicks, and punches. We just kind of accelerate and do different things as you build that core of fundamentals. Same thing with boxing. I'm going to show you how to throw a right hand jab, a left hand jab, a hook, a punch, an uppercut. And in boxing, I teach both sides because I don't believe in southpaw.
Yeah.
And your body can do the same thing on both sides.
Yep.
So that's why I make sure that we train you to fight both ways, so you're not just a one-dimensional fighter. So all these basics can be started at any level. So if somebody wants to come in, just show up. I'll get you in there, step you to the side if I need to work with you a little bit more, so the other people can still get the kind of workout they want to get.
For sure.
I always manage to make it work.
For sure. So if somebody was interested in joining, what are some of the things you kind of went into it there talking about, uppercuts, jabs, things like that, but what are some of the things that they might be able to expect whenever they're in there for their sessions?
Okay, so expect cardio.
Yep.
Because you're talking about an average boxing is 3-minute round. And so we want to get you to that point where we can do 3 minutes. So it's going to take a lot of stamina. So we start out jumping ropes. So if you don't know how to jump a rope, you'll learn how to jump a rope.
Yep.
Because there is a technique to it. And we'll jump ropes to anywhere from a minute to a minute and a half or 2 minutes per round. We'll do 3 rounds. So there'll be a lot of cardio. We work on abs. We work on leg lifts to build the lower muscles so you can take a hit. We work on breathing techniques. We throw a lot of jabs. So you'll be surprised. We have anywhere from 8 ounce, 10 ounce to to 12-ounce gloves, you'll be surprised how much a half pound or 3/4 of a pound makes a difference after you've thrown about 100 to 200 punches.
Yeah.
You know, so expect to really do a lot of cardio, because all of it takes cardio.
For sure. And then, you know, you guys have a pretty decent setup. I mean, it's not a whole lot, obviously, just kind of tucked away in that corner of the surf. But you guys have, you know, the regular punching bag. You guys also have the speed bag. How often do you incorporate those things?
Okay, so I don't have a speed bag.
Oh, it's not there anymore?
But no. But okay. what I do use is I use anything that's available to me. And because I told Emily, I said, Emily, I'm sorry, but I'm probably going to beat your surf up. But you know, there's pads on the posts.
Yep.
We'll punch those pads.
Yeah.
I got 2 rolled up. They're like flooring. That kind of rubber flooring.
Okay.
I roll them up, we punch that.
Yeah.
And then we do shadow drills. We also do a light sparring contact. I've got some helmet gear. We do light sparring, so that nobody gets carried away. I'm always watching that part because you know, if they get carried away, we got to stop.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff we can. I just kind of find something to punch on and we work on it.
Awesome. That's all I've got for you. I really appreciate you coming on here, giving a little bit more insight on that.
I appreciate you having me. And like I said, if anybody wants to come, we're Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock on the back tennis court for Taekwondo, and at 4:30 on the far basketball court.
Awesome.
From 4:30 on Tuesdays, come out and we'll give you the best workout we can give you.
For sure. Awesome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in. As Kyle had mentioned, if you guys are interested in joining either the boxing or the Taekwondo class, head on over to the surf. He'd be happy to work with you guys, put you guys through a nice workout, some good self-defense lessons being taught there, as well as a good way to get your cardio in for the week. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. Have a great week.